If you like rookie cards and first autos, this episode's for you. I've got with me today an OG UFC card collector, Henry from MMA Rookies. We'll talk about what the criteria is that makes a card a true rookie, how Henry's website, MMA Rookies, can help you find and target exactly which cards to buy, and we'll look at some of Henry's favorite cards from his collection. As always, I hope you enjoy this video. All right, today I've got an OG in the game. I've got Henry, AKA MMA Rookies. Henry, thank you so much for coming on today, man.
Hey, Zach, I'm so glad and happy to be here. I'm excited.
Yes, sir. First of all, for people that don't know, Henry has been collecting forever, basically since the inception of cards, right? Do you kind of want to give people your story with UFC collecting and collecting in general?
Sure, I've always collected trading cards of some sort from an early age. Random stuff, baseball cards, basketball. And as I got older, I focused more on basketball and then eventually transitioned to MMA. Um, and it went on from there. You know, I trained BJJ, and I've met some of the fighters through that. And I love the whole history of MMA. So, you know, it's a way to collect part of the history of MMA.
For sure, man. Yeah, I see you got a bunch of posters in the background. Do you collect like all sorts of memorabilia, or is it mainly cards? What kind of is your collecting spectrum?
My biggest focus are cards, and I also do MMA credentials. So I have credentials from UFC 1 to current UFC fights. I probably have about 400 or more MMA credentials for Pride FC, Elite XC, and a lot of the main events through the years.
Nice, man. When you say credentials, what exactly do you mean? Like IDs or like passes or tickets, or what does that mean?
Passes.
Okay.
Passes at officials war, sometimes fighters war, and I look at that as being the closest thing to a fight worn item because it actually was at the event. And some of them came from fighters, some of them came from commissioners. So it was pretty cool. You know, not many guys collect them, but you know that's one of my main collections, and also the rookie cards and first autograph cards of MMA fighters.
All right, perfect segue right there, Henry. I love how you teed it up for me. We got MMA rookie cards and first auto. So let's head over to the screen share. So this is the website that Henry made by himself, right? Do you want to kind of give a little history of this actual website before we dig into how it works and all the cool stuff you can find on here?
Sure. So, like I said, I collected MMA cards my whole life, and then when I eventually transitioned to MMA, I found that there weren't that many resources.
Yes.
And when I went to find out what constitutes a rookie card, it was hard to actually be definitive of what constitutes a rookie card. So I started making my own lists and Excel spreadsheets on rookie cards, first autograph cards, Hall of Famers. And through the years, I compiled these lists. And then I always thought to myself, how cool would it be to actually have a website, like a resource library for all collectors, especially for new collectors getting into it. And then slowly but surely, I started building the website. Originally, it was going to be for women's MMA because I said to include the men, it would take forever. So I started out the website 2 years ago, women's MMA. It never went live. I finished it, and then I said, you know what? I'm going to add the men. And
let's expand it to 1 billion fighters.
Add all the men, and then that's how it started, you know.
Nice, man. I love it. So are you the guy who actually had the G drive with all of the rookies? Was that your document? With all the first autos and all the rookie cards? It was like a G drive that somebody had shared it a while ago that I found online. But it had a lot of some of the information. I'm just wondering how were you storing it originally before you converted it over to the website? or did you give that publicly, or maybe that was somebody else's
No,
document? I don't know.
that could have been someone else.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, man, I completely agree with what you said about needing this, and I think this is such a good resource for everyone watching. That's why I wanted to have you on the show. Like this type of stuff is when you know 3 years ago when I first kind of started getting into collecting, I was searching for like what is the first rookie card, you know, because that's kind of, I saw in other sports that's what everyone kind of liked the most, and that was what was the most popular and what commanded the most on the secondary market sometimes. So I was really curious, and sometimes people will have multiple rookie cards, and I didn't know like well, you know, what set came first in 2010. Like, I don't know, I wasn't collecting around then. So this is really cool, man, and I hope people really take advantage of this. Let's hop back over and kind of show some people what exactly this can do. So we have the rookie cards tab here that's alphabetized with everyone's, with all the fighters, right? And this is, how can you search? Is it first name or last name? What do you normally do when you're searching in through this?
Well, you by last name. So let's say, I mean, you can
So,
tab if you want to tab down, hit on any fighter. Start down with the database if you want
oh,
to.
like this? Like, right, like
Right. If
search,
you want to
okay.
click on a fighter, click on one of the
All right, we'll go
pictures.
Gaethje. We'll go Justin Gaethje, see what the highlights got for us.
All right.
All right.
So with Justin, you have his rookie card front and back, um, and then if you scroll down a little bit more, this is recent. I just
Oh,
added
nice.
some of the other rookies, and that's actually because of you from
Yeah,
our
thank you.
conversations that you mentioned. Like, hey, how come it's just a true rookie? Is there value in the other? And there is. So I've included them. Um,
There you go. And then to get to first auto, where do we go here? Because I know people love
okay,
to
so
collect first autos too.
if you go back,
All right, we'll go back to G for Gaethje. And we got him right here. And then I just clicked the
yeah,
first auto side. Okay.
and there's
Nice.
his first auto.
Awesome, man. Yeah, this is really cool. I love, first of all, the amount of work that I know the amount of work that goes into this type of stuff because I keep an Excel spreadsheet with all of the insert odds and all of the inserts from tops. And so like the data entry on this has to be astronomical. So what kind of went in behind the scenes? How many hours are you putting into this? You know, I know you said you're retired. Congratulations on that. And so this is kind of like a fun side labor of love for you. So how much like time and effort did it take you to build all of this out for us?
A lot of many hours.
Your
Lot
fingers are
of
just
lot of
bleeding
time.
over there.
Yeah. But what helped though, because I made some of these spreadsheets,
Mhm.
and I just do portions at a time. Right now, I'm including all the rookies, all the data is inserted, and eventually I'm going to start inserting the pictures. So you know what, a
Okay.
little bit at a time, and it's kind of like climbing Mount Everest, just
Yeah.
a couple steps at a time, and you know just being patient. And what helps is the support I've been and the feedback I've been getting from other collectors, you know, thanking me for having MMA rookies there. So I appreciate it and makes me want to continue expanding on it.
For sure. And while we're talking about thanking, let me go ahead and give you some shout out promo here. You guys need to pay this man. One, you need to be using this website first of all, because this is such a good resource for everyone. And Henry, when you upload the act like all the rookies, that's going to be so fun for me to look at because I love looking at analytics and like differences between the older sets versus the newer sets. So for me to be able to compare and contrast how many autos Bo Nickel has versus GSP is going to be so fun. So for the data nerds out there, we all thank you and go and donate to this guy. You can find donate on the edge right here. You guys throw him some money. He deserves it for all the work that he's putting in.
Thank you.
I had to throw that in there because I know how much work and effort this was, and we appreciate you very much. All right, Henry, my next big question that I really wanted to talk to you about is how are you going to differentiate first autos whenever there are products like, we'll screen share here with the Izzy, where sometimes a fighter will have 3 autos in the exact same product. Like this one in Knockout, I believe you had like 3 or 4 autos in there. So how kind of are you differentiating true rookies and first autos?
Okay. Well, we'll start since we have Izzy up. We'll start with first autos. If you scroll, if you scroll over the pictures, you'll see every autograph from that set.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, so you're under. So this is kind of where my mind was at with this. I was like, if they're all releasing in the exact same product, we have to treat all of these autos as first autos. So is that kind of what you're thinking as well?
Absolutely.
Okay, good.
I agree with you. Just because one says first auto, and they both came out from the same set, released on the same set, you got to treat them equally.
Yeah,
Because
and
if you I'm sorry.
oh, go ahead.
So some guys are under the impression, well, a first auto can't be a relic card, but
Hmm.
then we wouldn't have the first autograph card of Chuck Liddell and Tito Ortiz. Their first autograph card that came out
Yeah, that's nice right here.
was in main event a relic card. So you know what? They come out on the same set, same release date. I treat them all as a first autograph card. Uh, Rookie cards are a little bit different.
Yeah, hold on. Let me cue that up. I'll bring up Henry's true rookie checklist that he has. That's really cool and interesting, and I'm excited to talk about this with everybody too. All right, here we go. We got the true rookie 5-point checklist. So run everybody down what you think the criteria that needs to be met in order to have and establish a true rookie card.
Okay, it has to be the first release set of that year for that individual fighter. It has to be a base card. It can't be an insert card, a specialty card, an on-demand card.
Yeah, and
It has
I like the on-demand card. Like I know in 2000, I think it was 2002, they started doing, or maybe 2001, they started doing the Panini Instant rookies, and a lot of those were rookies that were released before the actual like licensed base card products. You know, so with this criteria, none of those would be an actual true rookie card, even though they were the first released.
right, right.
Okay.
Yeah, the key thing is it's a base card from a set.
Hmm.
It has to be a licensed set, so unlicensed cards wouldn't count. It has to be a major card company. You know, there's a lot of smaller companies that'll do their own sets. It has to be, it has to be an official company like Tops, Upper Deck, Panini. Some are the nationally distributed um, products, and that's the last thing. It has to be nationally distributed.
Okay. I got a question.
Yeah.
So we got Anderson Silva. His true rookie is this card. What about the 2006 Pride? Let's see. Let's go through the checklist. Would it hit? What is it not hitting on these? So I know it was by Bandai, which is like a smaller distributor. Is that kind of where you'd
Well,
think there is because it was such a small distributor?
I look at it. MMA cards are different than any other sport. Any other
Hmm.
sport, there's just the NBA. There's Major League Baseball, but here you have different promotions.
Right.
So I consider the Pride card as his rookie Pride card, and
Okay.
the Upper Deck as his UFC rookie card.
Okay. Cool, man. Yeah. Good to think about that. Yeah, because I know we had who was it? Kayla Harrison. You know, she has cards with PFL. She has like Olympic judo cards as well. I think she might have an Olympic judo auto. I'm not sure about that. But yeah,
Yes.
whenever yeah, so she does. So like I guess the UFC rookie obviously would be the one that she just got released in with Gold Label. And then she had a auto with that, so that'd be her UFC first auto. But then she might have I know she has PFL autos, she has PFL base cards. So definitely an interesting topic when it comes to like rookie cards and MMA and UFC, just because like you said, there's multiple different promotions, and you don't see that in the NFL, you don't see that with the NBA, you don't see that with MLB. So once again, we're kind of weirdos in the UFC land in that we have such odd rules and stuff to follow.
Right.
Anything else you want to talk about with with the rookie checklist? I know you spent I really like this graphic too, man, and you spent a good amount of time drawing this up for us too. So appreciate that
Yeah,
also.
I mean, I know the defining a true rookie could sometimes, people can get into arguments over it because
Yeah,
people have their own ideas of what should constitute, and it's always depends on what kind of car they have. If they have the on-demand rookie, they want that
yeah,
to be the rookie card. So it's like let's forget about the criteria because I have it. But then again, if they have the actual true rookie, they want the base card to be the true rookie.
right,
When I used the criteria, I used information I found online. Beckett has their own criteria. COMC has their own criteria. Wikipedia. I talked to some forums online. I talked to some old collectors, Baseballpedia, and some of the forums to kind of fine tune it to fit MMA because baseball's totally different
right.
than MMA in basketball. So use some of their criteria, but then fit it to our sport. And this is how I came up with the true rookie card definition.
I love
And
it,
the
man.
only difference between a true rookie card and a rookie card, the only difference on this checkpoint list is really the release date. So you could use the same criteria,
Hmm.
and it would be the year the set was released, not the actual first release card. So I mean, so far, people get it, and it makes sense to them, and
Uh-huh.
that's all I can do.
Yeah, no, for sure. You know, trying to nail down definitions, I think, is sometimes important, especially with all the different opinions out there. And nobody's ever going to completely agree on something, like this. So I just appreciate that you're putting the effort out there and kind of putting this talking and really just the conversation out there. Like, what are we going to say is a true rookie card? That maybe there's a little bit of debate back and forth on what people think is what. But like to have a majority and a consensus, I think is important. So thanks again for bringing this up. What do you got in the future? I know talking with you the other day, you already implemented trying to add the multiple rookie cards that were released within the calendar year or within a specific product. Do you have any other things in your mind of maybe website changes, optimization, UI, or just things that you want to add to the website in the future?
Well, I would love to eventually find a sponsor. Maybe some of these like a Burbank sports card, Tops, or a big sponsor where I can have all the resources available to expand it to include every UFC card out there. Right now, I have to work with the constraints of my personal expenses. So
Yeah.
I would need a huge database storage
Hmm.
to include all the cars. I mean, right now, what I love about the site is, especially with the rookie cards, I have every photograph, every rookie card. A lot of sites you go to them that they're missing photographs, wrong information. So I'm proud that we have photographs for every rookie card. I'm working on getting all the first autograph cards, but even that can be difficult because
Yeah.
I'm not even sure certain cards even exist because
Right.
they were put on checklists, and some of them they never actually made it to production. So
Hmm.
slowly and surely, I'm finding them, or I'm finding out that they were never created, but were included in their original checklist.
Yeah, man. Again, everybody go donate. Henry's doing a lot of work. He's given us a good
Thank you.
product, and I want to see this thing continue to grow. So I really hope that you can get connected, and hopefully, I'll continue to shout you out as I use your website. I might even make some videos, kind of featuring your website and just looking at random stats and stuff. But thank you again so much. Okay, let's talk about some of your favorite PC cards. I hit you up and I said, Henry, what are some of your 3 favorite cards? If your house is burning down, what 3 cards would you get? And go ahead and tell us about this first card here.
All right. That's the Hickson Gracie rookie card. That's from the 1996 Gong magazine cutout. I mean, Hickson Gracie is a legend of MMA. I mean, he was one of the first pioneers. Um, and to find this card, I mean, first I had to find the magazine. It's not like it's popping up on eBay.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to be able to find the magazine, and then not only that, hoping that the card was still in the magazine, because it ends up happening a lot of times.
Right.
The card was removed. It was in there, and then I have to go through uh, the task of cutting it out
Yeah, hand
and
cut.
hand cut, and it came out with nine. So, and
That's great.
I was over the moon over it. So, you know, yeah, that's one of my favorites. The Hickson Gracie
Yeah,
rookie
man,
card.
this is awesome. Hickson, supposedly legend is he was the most talented and the best fighter of all of the Gracie family. I think even Hoist has came out and said that. And surprising that we never really saw him really venture into the world of MMA too much. And being the best one is amazing. And it would have been cool to kind of play like a alternate universe and see kind of what he would have did in MMA. The hand cut thing is interesting to me, Henry, because I have a Muhammad Ali card, like one of his old rookie, I think they call it the rookie card, and it's a hand cut. So what was that like trying to cut this out of a magazine? I bet that was like so scary. Were you nervous when you were doing that?
Well, I had it in the magazine for years, dreading cutting it, but the thing was I wanted it to get it slapped because a lot of times people won't recognize a card until PSA puts it in
Yeah,
a slab and
it's a
says
good point.
it's a real card. But to make matters worse is the front doesn't match with the lines in the back. So
Mm.
if you were to cut it using the lines in the back, it would be off center. So I finally said, you know what, I'm gonna cut it on the front. At least if it's off center, it'll look nice from the front, and it worked out. So I'm happy with it.
Yeah, this is awesome, man. Very cool card. And
Thank you.
next up, we got Finest coming up, and we're throwing it back to 2012 Finest here. This is Ronda Rousey first auto. Why'd you get this one, and how much did you get this for, and when did you get it? I'm interested about that too.
Um, I probably I don't know. I probably got it like 7 years ago. I couldn't tell. I got it off of eBay. I couldn't tell you what I paid for it. I'm not sure,
I bet it
and
was
I don't
way
know the
lower than
number
it
that
is
you know.
now. I bet it was a steal
But
back then.
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. Back in the day, there wasn't a lot of interest in a lot of the first autograph cards. It was crazy, you know. And then after the pandemic, everything just took off, you know. But yeah, I mean, I've always been a Ronda Rousey fan. I mean, she really brought MMA to the mainstream. I mean, you know, UFC was mostly guys, and then when she came along, she brought in women interested in the UFC, children, and you know, she's one of the reasons why women's MMA is what it is. You know.
Hmm.
So you know, I've always been a fan of hers, and one of the first boxes I bought was actually uh, her finest, or I'm sorry, her bloodline a rookie card, and I was able to pull one
Oh
out of the
wow.
set. Yeah,
That is lucky, man. That has yet to happen to me. So hopefully the good energy that you got can rub off on me through the screen because it's very tough to hit the actual person and the card that you want. So that's pretty incredible. And last up, man, this is super impressive. I hope people understand this right here and how difficult this is. Also, this is a cool little feature that PSA has, the set registry. And tell people about this, man.
so this is the 2009 Tops UFC Round One set, completely PSA slabbed. It's number one on the PSA registry. It's been number one for the last couple of years. And it's a very, very tough set to get in high grades. I mean, I don't know how many cards I've had graded, and I've been lucky to get a few tens, some nines, and then some that I'm happy to get an 8.
Oh, nice. Got 10 on the Silva. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, how long did it take you to complete this? And what made you want to complete this set?
I had one of my first purchases was a lot of 40 cards, PSA graded cards, all from round one. I threw out a bid. I got them very cheap, and then I said, you know what? I'm going to try to complete this set. For guys that collect other sports, I mean, graded sets is big. Um, I do basketball too, not as much as I do MMA now, but I have a completed 1986 Fleer basketball, which is Jordan's
Oh,
rookie
wow.
year.
Yeah, that's
And
awesome,
I
man.
and I thought to myself, like, this is the
Yeah.
Jordan set for MMA. This is the 1952 top set for baseball. You have 20 you have 27 UFC champions in the
Hmm.
set. You have Hall of Famers in the set. 99 of them are rookies. I mean, you have Dana White, Joe
Rogan.
Rogan. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Buffer.
everybody who's an MMA collector should own a set. It's still affordable, and it's definitely something to have in your personal collection.
Yeah, I love that you have this set. And Joe, shout out to Joe from Joe's Card Stash. I think he's actually undertaken a mammoth task of trying to complete one of these sets also. But I completely agree. The amount, okay, so Henry, nowadays, what do we get when we talk about rookies, right? How many rookies do we want to chase in a product? Maybe like 6 if we're lucky are like good chases. And the amount of rookies that you could potentially get from the 2009 Topps round one is like 30, 40 amount of rookies that you would hit and be happy about. Like, to me, I completely agree. I think that's the most important set that's ever been released in the UFC world, and probably that ever will, just because the amount of amazing rookies that are in that, and the true rookies, and the first autos are crazy too. So like, it's just an incredible set in general, and I'm really happy that I think nowadays people are starting to realize how awesome these sets are. You have Chicken 101 that's out there ripping products and ripping round one and showing people how awesome these are and all the amazing cards you can get. So super, super nice set there. I want to just shout out your Instagram real quick because I really enjoy all the posts that you do. And you do some really good posts, man. Like here we've got
Thank you.
a really unique set here, and it's a tail of the tape. So these are actual like taped the glove tape, right, that they use in the fights underneath
Right,
on the
right.
hand wraps and whatnot. And they have that embedded in cards. And this is from 2011 Moment of Truth. So do you want to kind of tell people not only about this set, but also about kind of what you're doing on your Instagram?
So, if you see anything from what I post, is that I'm a collector. I love cards, and I love to share information with other collectors. And I mean, this is a huge set. I wish I owned it. It's not mine. I was able to find pictures of the entire set throughout the internet, and I wanted to share it. This is what relics cards should look like.
Yeah.
It should be an actual piece of a fight worn item, not some random glove or random shirt. It should be something that the actually fighters wore in the event, and that's how the card should be. I mean, we should go back to that. If you ever see the new tail tape, there's no relic in it, and it's a shame. It was such a beautiful product, and they should bring it back.
Yeah, man. I think the problem with relics nowadays are and mem cards is there's just too many. Like it should be a very low population, very low set number, and it should be really special. And I think they're just kind of muddying the waters. And now, like most of the mems or relics that you get are just napkin patches, and they're basically they're not really eye appealing. They're not really interesting, and in my opinion, not even cool to collect most of them. So yeah, that was really cool, and I enjoyed seeing that. Also, you do cool stuff like this, and I thought this was really interesting, being like a number and data nerd. That most graded cards, and this is from obviously 2020 to 2024, so it's more recent cards, more modern cards. And to look back and have the Hasbulla as number 2 is hilarious to me. I
Yeah.
forgot how crazy that was.
We're gonna look back at this one day, and people are gonna say, "Who is this?"
Yeah, like why were people doing
why
that?
did people buy this? And
Yeah,
I
so
hear Topps is coming out with the Hasbulla um, first autograph card. So I don't know if that's true. I saw someone post something about it. So we might be seeing that coming out.
yeah, that's interesting, man. Yeah, we got some people that you would think should be here, right? We've got Alex Pereira here at the bottom. You know, we've got Hamza, Ilya, champion. You know, all these guys down here are at least like fringe champion or champions. So
Right,
that
right.
kind of makes more sense. But to see Hasbulla up here is just wild, dude. It's wild. So thanks for making some of these cool graphics for us too. I know a lot of other people enjoy that, so thank you for that.
Sure, sure. I mean, talking about you're talking about all the rookie cards that's come out. I done a comparison between a BJ Penn card and a Aaron Blanchfield card, and when BJ Penn cards came out in 2009, there were seven base cards, and that was it. And that's the parallel cards, and then the round one a base in the round two.
Okay.
Aaron had 147 base cards come out
Oh, I
in
don't like
one
to hear that,
year.
Henry. That hurts. That
And
hurts.
yeah, it's crazy. So there's no way possible for someone to collect every card. That's why I think a true rookie card,
Yeah.
it's a lot easier to do than try to collect every single card that's out there, you know.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
that's why I'm hoping, hoping to open people's eyes and show them what's out there, what's available, than some of the newer stuff. That there's a lot of good old cars that are still very affordable. Yeah.
As so we're just talking about like true rookies, rookie card year run. So for me personally, I kind of have three little criteria that I like to think about when I'm collecting stuff. Obviously, the true rookies one, the first autos one, but for the more modern cards, I think just me personally, I have like what is the best rookie card as far as like visually and design? What do I think is the coolest? And I'm kind of expanding that as to like my third little tier. It's very subjective, but whenever they give us so many designs, you know, at that point, if you give me 100 designs within the same year, you really do have a lot of cool options to choose from. And so I kind of like to look at, and then whatever my favorite card is for that rookie year, I kind of want to chase as well. Like I have the Shavkat Octagon side with him holding the flag in the back, and I think that's a beautiful
Right.
card. And so like
Yeah. Yeah.
that's kind of another thing I like to look at. As far as your collecting style goes, do you mainly hunt true rookies, first autos? Do you collect? I know you collect the Topps 2009 round one set. Like, what's kind of your game plan on that kind of stuff?
So what I've been trying to do is trying to focus my collection instead of going out and having too much of everything. Is I collect champions, first autograph cards, licensed and unlicensed cards. I have some of the older pre UFC cards, some of the BBM cards, with the early Shamrock cards, the Valatuda cards, with the Hoist Gracie first rookie card. I started collecting rookie cards signed by the fighter,
Oh, nice.
and that's yeah. So, I'm kind of focusing on that. And yes, I'll buy packs here and there, and you can't help it. A new product comes out,
Yeah.
I'll go out there and like, yeah, I'll buy a couple packs. But I try to do is try to focus as much as I can, so my resources can go to the actual cards I want instead of ending up with thousands of cards that I don't know what to do with.
Okay, I love it. I always like to pick people's brains and kind of figure out, especially you, kind of some of you OG collectors, because you guys have been around for so long and have kind of been, in this world for a while. So it's good for people to hear that. You mentioned kind of unlicensed cards, and I wanted to talk to you about that. I know this was technically not unlicensed, but it's just in the checklist that you have also like Risen, you have PFL, you have Bandai. So I kind of wanted to talk about like we have the Pride, we have the PFL, Clarissa Shields. We have this Octagon MMA, which is a new one that I've seen recently. So kind of what are your thoughts on like these different promotions and just MMA cards? We have UFC cards, but we also have MMA cards. So what are your thoughts on those?
So uh, the Octagon cards I included because we have collectors throughout the world. not just in the United States, and they've been out for a couple of years now. So I wanted to have information available for them. I wish I don't own any of them because I'm not able to buy them, but I wanted that information out there. Um, Risen started coming out with cards 2 years ago. Um, so I started posting some of their checklists. And the pride cards, I mean, I'm I'm slowly putting together a pride card. Luckily I was able to get all the big names years ago, and
Hmm.
now I'm getting the cards that I'm still missing to finish up that set. But yeah, you know collectors collect at all different areas. I have a database just on poster cards because I know poster cards are very
Oh,
popular.
yes. Thank you so much for bringing that up because that's something that I'm trying to collect. I'm trying to finish the Panini Instant Artistic series, and so being able to check your website and being like, okay, I know they stopped at 294, so really I only need two more cards from that. So being able to check that, especially something like that series where they didn't necessarily come out with like a blank checklist, like that's very difficult for people to find the information for those type of stuff. So thank you for doing that also.
No, no, you're welcome. And I mean, I wish I would have started those. I love those poster cards. I mean, they look amazing displayed,
Yeah.
but you know what? I got too many cards as it is, so
Yeah, I hear you.
I'll leave that those cards for some other guys. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so I mean, the website has a little bit of everything, not just not just first autos and rookies. Has some of the older cards. I have some wrestling cards with UFC fighters in them, um, and it keeps expanding. As I
Mhm.
talk to collectors and I find out what interests them, I'll see how I can include that in my posts, include that in the database, and it keeps expanding and growing. It's constantly, I think my website is constantly be expanding and growing.
Nice, man. I love it. Updated information is what we need. What's your thoughts on kind of the more recent products? So, we're going way back in the day, we're coming up just as far as like product pricing or print run, amount of products per year, the exposure and the amount of people that are into this now at this point. What's kind of your thoughts on modern collecting nowadays, and what do you think about the products and the cards?
I think it's for modern collector, new collectors. I think you need to focus. There's so much stuff, and you have to be smart on what you buy because cars are expensive. I think if you focus on what you collect, it'll make it easier for you to get the cars that you want. A lot of times I found that it's easier for me to just go out and buy the card I need than to try to chase it by opening up boxes and then sending it out to get graded. Sometimes it's cheaper in the long run just to go out to buy a PS10 or a Beckett 9.5 than than actually try to pull it for a pack and send it out to get graded. Um, yeah, I included a checklist for every UFC set ever made, and then I also broke down a section where you could find what rookie cards and first autograph cards are in that set.
Yeah, man. Like this alone is so helpful because right now the way they organize their stuff is not very good. They basically just have this, right? So you're looking through and
Yeah,
you're like man, I know I see all the rookies here, but is this guy was this his true rookie? Is this his first auto? It's difficult to navigate. So for you to break it down like this is awesome. For people that are really into looking at checklists and stuff, how often do you update this? Is it like a couple weeks after the set, or when can they come to the website and really check out some of this information when a new product drops?
yeah. It all depends on when the cops puts out their checklist.
Okay.
Um, Usually within a day or two, I'll have it up on the site. I mean, I wish they would put out the checklist before they put the product
Yeah.
out.
For sure.
But a lot of times they won't do that for a couple of days later. So, and I want what I want to do. I want to be accurate on what I post.
Hmm.
So I don't. I can't go by what some people will think will be in the set. I have to. I want to make sure that if somebody goes out to buy a box based on what the checklist I put out, that is accurate as possible.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, for sure. You don't. Yeah, that's one thing that is interesting with me and odd, and something I didn't like. Now, to be fair, Topps they're giving it to us close to the release, but it has been at least before the release. I think the last 2 or 3 products. So at least that you can kind of look at it before you. But most people have already pre-ordered, so really that's not even that helpful. I wish they'd give it to us more before. I don't understand why they're doing that. Like in theory, they should. All the products are printed, right? Everything's boxed up and they had that information should be weeks before sending the products out. So it's
Right.
it's a weird thing that they're not giving that to us. You would think it would drum up more hype for the product as well. So I don't necessarily think it has to do with like business or money. Maybe it's quality control and they're like last minute changing things. I don't know, but yeah, everybody go check out the checklists as well. Henry, what are your thoughts on the pricing of products now? I know you were collecting back in the day, so I would love to hear kind of what the pricing used to be back in the day versus what it is now. And I know it's kind of dipped down a little bit, which is good for us. But what were the prices of boxes like 2009, 2010, 2011? What were you guys looking at back then?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the prices were affordable. I mean, uh, depending on for $150, you could get some good product. And same thing with grading. I remember the days when
Mm.
you could get a card graded for $7, and that's when I was one of the first to send out all my cards to get graded to PSA because I was like, hey, you know what? For $7, um, it doesn't matter what it comes
Right.
out. Uh, but nowadays you have to be, it's like you have to be picky because I mean,
Mhm.
uh, cards are thousands of dollars, and then you get less cards. It's
Yeah.
crazy. I mean, you used to get a box. You know, packs would have 12 cards, 10 cards. Now you're lucky you get that in a whole box. Um, yeah, I think I think it's starting. I think pandemic uh, affected the sport, and everything went through the roof in all the sports, including MMA, and then they're starting to go down. And I mean, you're able to find stuff online. It's starting to get more reasonable where you can pick up some nice cars. I think right now it's a buyer's market, not so much a seller. So this is a good time to go out there and get some of the stuff that you've been wanting to get. I've been getting some nice deals on eBay and some of the groups. You know, yeah. I mean, MMA we're so in our infancy compared to every other sport. I mean, it's only been around 15 years. So I mean, compared to other sports, I did a comparison. I mean, they've been around. Baseball cards have been around since the 1800. Basketball cards,
Yeah.
the 1950s. Us 2009. I mean,
Yeah.
that's it's so early on. I remember when you could get a Jordan rookie. I have an old Beckett, and they priced Jordan rookie at $150. Can you
It,
imagine if you
yeah.
knew
If
that
only.
for Jordan rookie cards I would have bought then? But
Yeah.
I think that's where we are right now with some of the round one. Is like, it's affordable. It's all affordable down the road. I think you know you're going to see some big increases. As people um, as this the hobby continues to grow, and we have people learning about the older stuff. You know, yeah, I think a lot of the kids came in during the pandemic, and they know the newer stuff, Panini, and now that Tops to the back. I think I'm seeing more and more people looking
Hmm.
back at the older stuff, which is interesting because I'll get a lot of emails from people or messages asking me like, what was the first rookie card for this? What was the first auto for that? And they're looking at some of the older items. which is good. I think it's great for the hobby, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I made a video about this a few months ago, and it was just like in other areas, in other sports, we see a very healthy vintage market, and that's some of the most sought after cards are all these vintage cards. And for the longest time during the Panini era, when I kind of got in, I was always like, why is nobody really mentioning these awesome vintage cards from people that have already had Hall of Fame resumes and are some of the most famous fighters of all time? And it was interesting to me how low comparatively those prices were compared to like the 2021 Prism cards that were setting records, 50,000 at the time, which
Right,
was
right.
absolutely absurd and bananas, comparatively to like, the GOAT guys in their first autos and their rookie cards. So it was really
Yeah.
interesting. And I'm glad you brought that up, Henry. What other tips do you have for maybe newer collectors or just collectors in general that maybe can help them, in their collecting journey?
I think it's what any collector is focusing and refocusing your collection. I think with collecting it's so easy to want to buy everything, and it's not possible. I don't know how many times I'll be at Walmart and I'll see packs. Oh, let me buy them, and then
Yeah.
then you end up with closets full of cards with no value. I think if you focus your resources and they say, look, I'm going to have the best first autograph collection or the best Cowboy Cerrone collection, and focus on those cards and your resources on those, you can have some great cards.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I think you should go for more quality over quantity.
For sure. Great advice. What are your thoughts on like and this is I believe newer into this space, but like breaking, whatnot. It seems like a lot of like weird gambling, Raz type stuff is going on. What are your thoughts on some of that?
I mean that's not really my thing. I don't know. I found it. I've done a couple. I found it easier just to go out and buy the item I want
Right.
than hope to get the card. And I don't know. Like you said, it's gambling. It's like buying a scratch off at the supermarket and hoping you hit it big. I mean, it's hard to build a collection like that
Yeah.
because not too often you might, and even if you do hit, you might not hit the card you actually
Yeah.
want. So I don't know. I think you know what, if you focus your resources, you can go out there and buy the cards you want. Um, and I think it's important. I think when you look at your collection, I know people say collect what you love, and you should be about what you enjoy, but not why not be wise about it where it should have some value down the road. And I look at it as I'm not against people collecting certain fighters, but like, well, 10 years from now, well, is this fighter ever going to be known? If you put all your money into this one person and never won a championship, 10 years from now, you won't even know who he was. And how's that value on those cards where you look at a champion like Randy Couture, Chuck Liddell, you know, Alex Pereira, down the road, people are going to know whether
Hmm.
they saw the fight just because they're in the record books.
Right.
They're going to know about these names, and that's how it is with the other vintage sports. I collected rookie cards of basketball Hall of Famers, and a lot of these guys I never heard of because I mean they were going back to 1940s.
Yeah, the
But
old
but
school.
you look up records, their names are in there. Hall of Fame, their names are in there. So you knew like, hey, you know, these guys have some value, and I think collect what you love, but hey, why not also collect something that might be an investment down the road or might be profitable down the road if you ever decide to sell or or hand your collection over to your children down the road.
Yeah, yeah. I like the Venn diagram in the kind of that aspect to think about that, right? Like you have the Venn diagram of like what's going to be valuable over time, what you really like, and I think you should kind of find the intersection of the two, right? Like things that are going to last over time and fighters that you like or sets that you like or designs that you like. And you brought up a good point. Like just thinking back to when I first kind of got into watching UFC and MMA, I remember like Keith Jardine popping off, like Houston Alexander popping off, and being like very exciting, likable fighters. And nobody collects them. Most people don't even know who they are, but they were very talented at the time. So you really just have even like Tim Sylvia and those type of guys. Like when's the last time you heard somebody that enjoyed collecting a champion that has like just no fan base? So it's an interesting overlap of, even if people are successful, you kind of have to pick and choose on what you're going to collect. And because a lot of these people will not be popular in the future. And if you like them, at least you will have that tied to it. But to me, I like to kind of try and think about it in the Venn diagram overlap aspect, where I can have some value, maybe some resale if I want to sell it in the future, something that's going to last over time, and I enjoy those fighters or that set.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. Yeah, I was thinking Tim Sylvia myself. The guy was multi-time champion, and he doesn't even have a base card.
Yeah, it's
It's
crazy.
crazy. Yeah,
And,
yeah.
and I'm glad at least nowadays, like that wouldn't happen with nowadays products. At least like they would definitely print 1,000 of his cards, and it would be way too
Right.
many, but at least they would be out there. To kind of close it out here with the show, how has your collecting changed over time? If it has changed over time, back in the day we talked about there's less cards, the print run's way lower, the cards were cheaper. It was easier to grade. So how have you kind of morphed and changed your collecting over time?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I when I first started collecting, I mean, I would try to buy everything. Whatever product came out, and you know, I slowly learned that you end up having a lot of product that you don't know what to do with. So then I was like, what, let me focus on, for my personal collection, is the champions, um, and started collecting their first autographs, their rookie cards, and then I'll buy different cards that I find interesting, um, you know. But yeah, I've learned is like to be selective on what I buy instead of trying to buy everything, because I have boxes of base cards that I don't even know who to give them to, because nobody really wants them, because
Yeah.
the people have closets full of base cards. So yeah, my collection's changed a little. I also have a collection of through the mail autographs, where you
Hmm.
contact the fighter, and they sign your autograph. And I started collecting tournament fighters. So these are a lot of unknown names, but that fought in the UFC, and you know there's not a lot of interest in them. But I thought, I think historically there should be a record of them, and
Yeah.
it's been pretty cool. I've gotten to actually speak to them on the phone,
Yeah. That's awesome. Very
correspond with them on
personal.
email, and ask them stories on how it was, and they kind of you get a connection on what was going on back in the day, when when it was crazy, when
Hmm.
no rules, and can you imagine going into a ring where there's no rules and never been done before, and these guys did it, and like I say, win, lose or draw, man, I have mad respect for the early fighters. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was a insane. If anyone hasn't seen that, I would go back and watch like 1 through 10. They had it on ESPN Plus a while back. Those events are crazy, and what's even crazy about those is I think the craziest thing was the multiple fights per night. Like you'll see guys come into the ring with just swelled up eyes, like broken hand, coming in for the second or third fight of the day. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for being on, Henry. This was awesome, man. Again, everybody go to MMARookies.com. Go follow Henry on IG, MMA Rookies. Donate to his site. Use his site. It's a great resource.
Hey, Zach, thank you so much for having me on here. Thank you for your donation that I received prior to the podcast. Uh, I love your site. Thank you so much. And hey, anytime you want to talk again, I'm available.
Yes, sir. We'll do it again in the future. Thanks so much, Henry.
Sounds good. Have a great day.
Thanks everybody for watching these videos. If you enjoy MMA videos, if you enjoy UFC card videos, you will like my channel. So go ahead and check out these videos and subscribe for future UFC card content just like this.